Yo, not so daily viewer, I am Inuki Tuduru, and today we have a special with the RW clan, who have kindly offered to show us their prowess in this 2v2 battle on Fragtown tonight. We're spectating from the German side against the UK. One more thing before I forget and end up bringing this up in the middle of a battle. We have a guy. That guy is on the Commonwealth. That guy on the Commonwealth is recording this battle as well. His name is Irish. I shall be giving you a link to his YouTube channel and you can see a few more games, as well as this same game from the opposing team's perspective. Awesome, I can't wait to see it. Now, over on the right hand side we have Shooter, who is fairly confident he can win this upcoming tournament. For anyone who's going to be playing against Shooter in the tournament, this game's going to be just what you need. You want to see what Shooter is made of. And, you know, I can't wait to see what he's going to be doing. But on this right-hand side, we have a town. Fragtown, so a lot of urban combat. Tanks don't really want to enter it. You can have a lot of AT guns hanging around, you know, trying to get a good shot off. It looks like Shooter's going to retreat on the left-hand side, though. We've got early engagements as well. It's like more trench warfare. This guy drops his spade. That's unfortunate, but no one's in the zone, no one's capping. It's very open, very exposed to the trenches. And, yeah, it's very, very different. In the middle is, you know, also very open as well. So it's like two open areas for some of the flag points. And then this very urban environment on the right. So very different play styles. Based on the terrain, based on your environment around you, you have to play somewhat differently. I'm sure the players know it. I'm sure they're going to be fighting very differently on both the left and right hand side of the map. But remember, this guy's just legit. Just turns around and fires at two guys and then, you know, continues looking forward. Awesome. But yeah, this is a 3v3 map and it's 2v2. So yeah, there has to be teamwork involved. Otherwise, it's two players trying to capture the left and right. Well, the left and centre, rather, or the right and centre. Whilst the other player just deals with 1 point. So, you know, a very common tactic we would see is both players help out in the middle and then each player takes the side by themselves. It's their own responsibility. We've got Smokes coming up for Deathshand, so he's probably going to be approaching sometime soon. On the right hand side we're seeing this flag point been taken by the Brits. Using my brilliant deduction skills, that tractor is awesome. It blew up in a big flaming chunk of that building got taken out. Well, whatever, as I was saying, Thompson-Nagant must be on this right hand side, considering Deathshand is on the left hand side for the Brits. So we've got two ferocious players on this side. Booyah, that's exactly what I want to see. Oh, and not to mention, these two players are in the tournament. They're working together. But tonight, for one night only, they shall be fighting against each other in a battle to the many deaths. No one will actually die apart from these guys, who also look awesome, but not as awesome as a tractor that blows up. Thompson-Nagant has firm control over this area so far. Very fierce combat, very many infantries. It's definitely a micro battle happening over that side. On the left hand side we have a flak watching over the point. The point has been taken by Deathshand, so the Brits, early game advantage for them. They're scoring points right now. The Brits don't seem too concerned with this area though. That's in our control. That's the German Hoffin's territory. And no one shall attack it. No one shall attack our forward base like cowards. Paratroopers now out for Shooter. Those will help cap the area faster because they're a higher value unit and they're already tossing grenades off and trying to find out where the enemy's position is. It seems like one of them's hiding behind these barrels. Well, behind the barrels, underneath the water tank, which is pouring out water. An infinite supply of water. Finally, the grenade gets him. Here's a machine gunner hanging out right behind this wall. That's not a bad position at all. But for the most part, I'm having difficulty seeing where exactly Thompson-Nagant's troops are. And I'm sure, very, very sure, that considering I'm on the same team as Shooter, he's having trouble too. He's moving infantry around to this shed-like thing. And there's one guy, assault squad leader. He instantly gets grenaded, but these infantry are now caught in the open by the machine gunner. A lot of casualties going down for Shooter. That's a bad idea. To lose your crap and more grenades going off injures those two guys. Reinforcements now coming for Thompson-Nagant as they pour in behind that wall and have such a great position on those infantry, which are really exposed at the moment. Shooter did manage to get a lot of them into cover, but he still lost 4 troops in the process. And just check out all these grenades. There's just so much very, very micro-intensive action to keep tossing all these grenades. I think this is pretty much going to sum up the entire of the battle in Fragtown area. Or I'm going to at least call it the Fragtown, since the map's called Fragtown, maybe the town is called Frag. And blah, blah, blah. Shooter. I don't expect to see that from you, man. Come on. They've lost the middle area now. The Brits are now in control of that central location, but Shooter did capture the right-hand side. He did defortify the position. We have sandbags hanging it back here. That's a huge advantage for the Brits at the moment. Shooter, now realising he's a bit too blobbed up, moves them behind cover and out of the way, out of line of fire. I think I know what happened here. The half-track appeared on the right-hand side of the map, and that's where Shooter's attention was focused. But he moved an infantry squad to the middle. And, you know, he just didn't realise they were there as he was trying to deal with the problems on the right-hand side. Now, I do believe this problem is going to spiral out of control as Thompson-Nagant drives his half-track straight in there, starts gunning down infantry, and now suppressing those behind the wall. That's going to make it very difficult for them to pop up and return fire on the infantry that's going to move into that zone shortly. Shooter reinforcing the area. The half-track seems to get out of there, seems to be scared off by something. Doesn't want to risk it, losing it to any sort of rocket fire. Unlike Shooter, who will risk losing all of his infantry to a grenade. Unfortunately, Thompson-Nagant had the upper hand there. He managed to group up the enemy, round them up behind a wall, and toss a grenade in. And unfortunately, big casualties so far for Shooter. He's lost control of that right-hand side right now. Daimler enters in the middle of the field, providing support to the British infantry, already being fired upon from a Panzer II Lukes from Underground General. This was perfect timing for this to enter the field. It takes out that Daimler, no problem. Now it's going to move into the centre with this infantry squad, and hopefully take out any infantry inside the zone and move into the zone and capture it itself. That would make things equal for the German forces. They need to capture one more point to start scoring once again. What we're seeing is a combined effort now from Shooter and Underground General to take the central zone. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, Underground General is just going to hold that down, make sure that the enemy doesn't advance too far past that point. Keep them, you know, let them have the point, but try and take the centre and right. Shooter hanging back here, doesn't want to get hit by the half-track. The half-track's going back into hiding as this central position gets taken. Well, that didn't take too long for them to take that position back. Someone tried to spell their name in the fire, but they didn't realise fire spreads. Mark II. Matilda takes out the flak. Not the flak. Oh, no. I needed that. Never mind, we'll get them back. Shooter bringing up a Panzer II of his own, whereas Underground General is going to retreat and bring up a pack cannon as well. They do have that zone, so he's going to use those that Panzer II Lukes when he needs to, instead of having it in the front of the field, and it will just get taken out by who knows what. On this right-hand side, this point is neutralised. One brave dude runs into the zone. It's his sole purpose to start taking that zone as the Panzer II moves into position. Very safe. If you check out the mini-map, there is infantry dotted all around that Panzer II. No rocket going to be entering and getting a sneaky shot in there. I hope. It's looking good on the right-hand side. This would be the 4th point for the Germans, which means their points are ticking up. And points ticking up is always good. Over in the centre, we've got infantry from Deathshand dotted around all these sandbags, putting up more sandbags actually, which is going to help him provide support to advancing infantry. But you know, really there's too much infantry on the German side and this pack and the Panzer II Lukes for them to make a proper decent advance at the moment. They need some kind of support, I believe. Or maybe they don't because they're just such hyper players. We've got an AA gun moving up behind that sandbag line, and that pack, friendly fire. Oh man, pack, you're not. No, that's not how you do it. No, pack, bad pack. Panzer II Luke's on the left-hand side. If only it would move up just a little bit, tinsy bit more, it would get a perfect shot down that trench. Just a nice straight line of fire on any infantry lurking around. And oh no, Deathshand brings up a Sherman, which takes out the Panzer II Lukes. No problem whatsoever. Second shot, hull destroyed. My favourite destroyed. The tank commander gets out with his SMG. He's just going to turn into a regular infantryman now. By the way, this is the second game I've casted with the RW clan. The first game, well actually I can't really spoil it for you in case I upload it. You know, who knows which order I shall upload games. It's a mystery indeed. Over on the right we've got a lot of infantry moving in from Thompson-Nagant. And going back to what I was saying earlier, my voice is a little bit iffy at the moment. I'm feeling like I have to take a really big breath just to try and say some long stuff, and you know, apologies for that, but no matter. Disregarding all that, we got a lot of action on screen, and you can see it for yourself. It just looks freaking awesome. There's so much infantry combat. We've got Volkstrom on the field for Shooter. Volkstrom, like the cheapest unit ever, and my favourite by far. I just love them in company of heroes. I don't know why. You know, I'd always use those dudes. Thompson-Nagant with that Matilda in the back. It's extremely safe. There's nothing on this right hand side apart from infantry which could deal with that Matilda. So at the moment that's just the most excellent support for Thompson-Nagant right at the moment. This won't matter at all to Shooter because he has firm control over this area. He has a lot of infantry in this zone, and that's just preventing Thompson-Nagant's infantry from moving in. It's not going to prevent him from firing on innocent buildings and destroying people's homes and lives. It brings in a half-track which will provide additional support to the infantry that's approaching. Unless they've already been all gunned down, which I think Shooter did get, or did inflict a lot of casualties there for Thompson-Nagant. He still controls this area, and that's all that matters at the moment. It seems like he wanted to bring up a Panzerfaust to take out the half-track, but no, he gets another one. He charges out. That is fearless. There's just no way that would have worked, but he tried it anyway. Maybe Thompson-Nagant will pick that up. Panzer II Luke's on the left. Someone should have alerted Underground General that there was a M4A4 Sherman on this left-hand side. Although, in fact, no, that got taken out. We have a new tank on the field, and using my powers of looking on the top left-hand corner of the screen, I saw that that was a Daimler that had taken that out, so I don't need to look over there. It's moving around the back, actually, of the barracks. What do you have in store for us, Deathshand? We can see the pack just on that left-hand side. That's probably what took out the Sherman. Oh boy, I really can't wait to see that video from Irish. I'll be able to look and see all the stuff that you didn't actually get to see in this video, so it's definitely worth checking out. We've got a machine gun on the right covering that point. It's in the field sort of area, so I don't know, it is prone to grenades if someone can get into that central zone. From the left-hand side, the crew is no longer a crew, they're just a dead body. Still no infantry in this zone for Thompson-Nagant. You can see he's moving some infantry behind that building, trying to pour into the zone and neutralize it. Remember, neutralizing zones is just as good as capping them. The attack has semi-failed though. The Matilda's still alive. We've got infantry on the right-hand side for Shooter, moving around this building, trying to remain undetected, maybe get a sneak attack. Or perhaps not, as he's just realized that they're Volkstrom. They don't do sneaky. A lot of infantry now moving up once again. This is the second wave of the attack for Thompson-Nagant. This looks freaking awesome, but they just get gunned down by the machine gun who's been recrewed.